All right, welcome back. We are now moving into the post-show section of our watch along. If you are watching this here on Twitch, you're watching us live. Unless you're not watching us live, but this will be available shortly on YouTube for rewatch. So if you're watching us there, make sure you subscribe. Follow us or subscribe to us over on Twitch so that you get notified when we go live for these. Right now, this is the primary watch along that we have going on on Twitch, but eventually we will have more discoveries coming up. Hawkeye is coming up. That is Hawkeye, not Hawk Guy. Hawkeye, the Disney Plus series. There's some other stuff coming up too. The Expanse season 6 is coming up soon. That's actually on Amazon, so we can do like an actual watch party for it. There's some other stuff going on too. So if you're into the watch along kind of thing, make sure to follow us over on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/the_Illuminerdi. And you'll be able to follow along with us as we do these live. But now let's go ahead and get into episode 3 of Star Trek Prodigy called Starstruck.
So are you sure you can't repeat all that? I missed half of it.
Yeah, I can, but you'll have to wait till we finish the show so I can rewind. So what did you guys think about this episode?
I hate him. Like it's not Neelix level hate, but I despise this kid because I feel like I don't mind cockiness at the beginning. I just hope he gets out of it in the next one. Like, you don't need cockiness. Like, if I was Janeway, I'd be like, oh, oopsie, looks like he's been transported out and thrown into space. Survived that kid by outside
how did this airlock just all of a sudden open up right while he was standing inside of it? That's so weird.
Yeah,
that stuff never happens.
Yeah, it was strange when they jettisoned everything and it just okay.
Yeah, it's like why did you do that? This is a spaceship. You're in space. There's no like what weight are you trying to counteract?
Yeah. I found it interesting that all the other characters just fell in line, even though they could tell that he needed to do something different.
I think that, well, okay. This is a kids show or a show targeting kids, so
yes,
this isn't the most apt analogy. But have you ever been out with a bunch of friends drinking, and you're like doing a bar crawl type thing, or you're walking around downtown, and someone has this great idea of
downtown.
Let's go do this thing, and you're like, this isn't gonna work out. This is gonna be stupid. We're gonna get there. It's gonna be closed or whatever. But you just go along with it anyway because you know that if you don't go along with it, dude's just not gonna shut up, and you're never gonna hear the end of it.
Right, and we also have to see some growth in him.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious, Rok-Tahk where her growth is right now, and then Jankom, he's kind of just doing what he does.
Yeah.
And then what's the name of the entity?
Zero. We don't actually have a real name.
That's
yet.
right. That's right. Zero. I mean, we know that they're like on the lam, and they've got their special sentience power or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So, but we don't know much about Zero outside of the diviner found him.
Wants to use
found them. And realize the kind of power that they have, and so we know Gwyn from this episode. She actually thought that they were all criminals. She didn't know that they were being kidnapped, or so we're led to believe that she didn't know that they'd been kidnapped. So like, there's her growth right there, is figuring out that her dad isn't what she thought he was, and realizing that there was something else going on. But I do agree with you about Dahl. Like, he's I mean, I get it for the character, and because of the kind of show that it is, but I am firmly with both of you that I hope he grows out of it fairly quickly. Like, he could still have other ways that he needs to grow as a character.
Yeah.
But the jumping into trouble just to jump into trouble definitely will get annoying if it just keeps happening. But I could see him getting along with Okona whenever he comes in. Billy Campbell's character, because like they seem like they're kind of two peas in the same pod.
Yeah, I wonder if Okona will come in and it'll be either A, he sees Okona and he's just like, oh, I don't want to be like that when I get older. Or if Okona will drop some knowledge and be like, yeah, it's cool to be like that, but every now and again, you got to straighten up and,
I think it's going to be a little column A, a little column B, because in the podcast where Billy Campbell was talking about coming back for the show, like he kind of dropped that out of nowhere. Like it was like a surprise. I'm coming back for the show because it was the same kind of thing where he's like, I don't know if I can say this or not, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But he was talking about how this version of the character is a bit older, still kind of that rapscallion type
brash, impulsive
guy. So I can totally see it being the kind of thing where Dahl will be looking up to him as, hey, look, this guy's got his own ship. He's traveling the galaxy. He's doing what he wants. He doesn't have to answer to anyone. But then he drops some knowledge on Dahl as like, listen, you don't want to end up like me when you know.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what, like, based off of what we're seeing here, that's kind of where I see that going.
Do you think the Janeway hologram will know him?
I don't know. He said that she wasn't too fond of him. But I don't know if that means that she knows who he is or just first impression is just like, ew.
Right.
I was just thinking, I wonder if, like, when Chakotay comes back as well, like, if he went on and said, right, I'm taking over the ship now, like, would the hologram be like, okay, I can't fight this? Because literally he's like, if the hologram, if Janeway recognizes him as a captain, he'd be like, well, I'm now captain of the ship. I'm taking over. I wonder if that's going to cause anything. And I hope Chakotay doesn't go like, hey guys, I'm going to give you this entire powerful ship. You go on your way. I'll see you later, kids. And it's like, oh, God damn it, Chakotay.
No, he won't, because he'll have Neelix in tow.
Oh God, I hope he does.
Yeah. Actually, that's what's going to be. Is he's going to have Neelix, and he needs to get Neelix home. So he's not going to be able to take over the ship because he's got his own shit that he needs to deal with.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, it's totally gonna be. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be like, I'm getting too old for this shit, and he's gonna be like, you guys are on your own.
And they did jettison all the food, so they need a cook.
They can make more. They have a replicator that can build a ship.
Yeah, but it can't do food.
Can't do food.
Can't do food.
That's a shame.
Eject them from the pods and send them into space, Neelix. Fucking Neelix.
Well, okay. Does the kid have potential to be worse than Neelix to you?
No, because Neelix, you had 7 seasons or 8 seasons of Neelix, so therefore this kid's got a lot more to kind of catch up. And if there's only like 7 more episodes left, he's not gonna reach Neelix level straight away.
Not yet. He's got a couple of seasons.
Yeah,
I think. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I hope this kid does grow, because I think in the last 10 minutes he's like, I've now got a lot of character development. I'll be like, get out of here, writers of Paramount Plus, get this series in the bin.
I was gonna say, I think we need to just have a rating system, and we have Neelix heads, and we put counters on the bottom, and Mark can, give episodes 3 out of 5 Neelix heads.
Wait. So if we're rating shows in Neelixes, is less Neelixes better than more Neelixes?
Yes. It's like golf.
What I would do is I would still have like a normal counter, be like, okay guys, let's give a rating of this thing. I give this 5 warp cores out of 5.
Oh, there you go.
Neelix point. Episodes 1. This is a 1 Neelix head episode. It didn't annoy me as much as watching Neelix every single week on Voyager.
There you go.
Did anything interesting stand out to you guys in this episode? I know when we saw the binary star system they were getting sucked into, we mentioned how it looked reminiscent of the beginning of Lower Decks when the ship gets sucked into that.
Sucked in.
Uh,
Well, we saw the stars, the planets, the ships, and the other alien races in that in the hologram tutorial. That was cool.
I'm still trying to figure out some of these ships that are in here because like I see the I think this is the Protostar that's all the way over to the right.
What's the one that's like the clunky large hauler looking one?
I will.
Is that the one that's under Voyager?
Are you looking at the one when it's like a bunch of them and it's got the 3 escape ship or not escape ships but shuttlecraft as well?
Yeah. So I see Rok-Tahk is kind of over to the left of the screen, covering up the Enterprise D and the Enterprise A. And then there's a shuttlecraft that's above the Enterprise D, a shuttlecraft that's below the Enterprise D, and then there's Voyager that's a little bit further up to the top, and then what I'm assuming is the Delta Flyer on top of Voyager.
Right.
Underneath Voyager, I believe, is the Defiant, and then in front of the Defiant and Voyager, I'm not sure what those 2 ships are. I think one of them is the Protostar, but I don't know what the up one above it that's directly in front of Voyager is.
I'll be able to help you.
Okay, so I'm looking at the screenshot that I'm looking at is at 346.
346. 245. And then I click. Okay, right.
So there's our
discover.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's go in. Okay, so you got Discovery Enterprise from the shitty series. Looks like you've got a. I don't. It's too blurry for me to see.
Oh, is that Discovery in the front?
Yeah.
Like over Pog.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the very beginning, hang on.
So all the way up to the right, that's Discovery. What is it that's above Discovery?
Okay, hang on. I've got.
That's what I've been trying to figure out.
So that's the Enterprise with Archer.
Oh, okay. That's the NX-01.
Yeah. Then Defiant. Then Voyager. Then it looks. I mean, from this little screenshot thing, it looks like a standard shuttlecraft from TNG. And you've got another one at the bottom. No, then you've got the Delta Flyer at the bottom, I think. You've got Enterprise D, shuttlecraft from original TOS, original Enterprise.
Yeah. No.
The small one underneath is another shuttle from Enterprise D. Then you've got original Enterprise as well.
Yeah.
So they're all basically the flagships of. Yeah.
Okay. So working from the left, let me see if I can get this. So behind Rok-Tahk, we've got the Enterprise A, or the original Enterprise, and then the Enterprise D down towards the bottom. Underneath the original Enterprise is a shuttlecraft from that Enterprise. Underneath the Enterprise D is the shuttlecraft from the TNG Enterprise D. Up at the top, you've got Voyager, and above Voyager is probably the Delta Flyer, but maybe not. Maybe just a regular shuttle.
It's a regular. So the way that I've seen it is basically those shuttles represent which ship that they come from. So when you got the Enterprise A, that's the kind of square looking one that goes with that one.
Right.
So above that one would be rather than the Delta Flyer, that would be it. Because if you notice,
a Voyager class shuttlecraft.
Yeah. Because if you notice that the others don't have them, because you saw one shuttle pod from Thingy. But yeah, that's all of them.
Right.
That's
so
cool.
Voyager, Defiant, the Defiant's under the Voyager, above the above the Defiant and to the right of Voyager is the NX-01, and then below the NX-01 and in front of the Defiant is just the Discovery.
Yeah.
Are you sure this is Discovery?
Yeah, because if you look at how the ship is, you've got the circle thing, and then the engines were quite long, weren't they, for Discovery?
But can it be the Discovery? Because technically that's off the books now.
Yeah, that should be erased from history. I think that might be the Protostar.
Let me have a look. Not Discovery Channel. Discovery.
Well, if you click over to the
Donnie says he thinks it's Discovery as well.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. Because like it looks the shape does kind of look like Discovery, but it also kind of looks like the Protostar.
Donnie says maybe Crossfield.
Maybe.
I mean, it very well could be Discovery because maybe they forgot that Discovery technically got erased and they just added it in there.
I mean, there was also there was the sister ship to the Discovery that got destroyed.
True.
So while the Discovery was erased, we don't know whether that one was or not. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so the picture that I Mark just dropped in our chat here is the Discovery, which is Crossfield class, and it does look similar to that. Let me jump back ahead to that point again. But the head of the ship looks like it might not be.
I mean,
I can't tell.
If you look at the thing you've got like on the out at 347, when you look at the thing you've got like the outer ring, and then you can see that there's another line that goes around. And there's a little kind of block. It is the Discovery because it looks exactly like that one, and like even if you have a look at this one,
let me see if I can get a good picture of the Protostar.
See if we're talking about Protostar, the ship that they've got, it looks like Voyager, so it would have kind of more of a pointed thingy. Protostar.
I'm posting a picture into the chat now, into our chat. So yeah, you're right. The front of it at least in this image, the front of it doesn't look like it's pointy enough to be the Protostar because the Protostar does kind of look like the Voyager, and it also doesn't have that tail coming between the nacelles.
Mm-hmm.
That the Protostar has, at least from what we can see from this angle. So yeah, so I guess it's got to be a Discovery or another. Is there another Discovery class ship that we know about?
Well, Glen 8. You know, the sister ship.
Yeah, so I guess it could have just been like, as Donnie said, just another Crossfield class.
Yeah.
But I don't know which one it would be outside of Discovery. Unless that's the Shenzhou.
Was the Shinzo one?
I think the way that I'm kind of looking at it is if you've got every single like flagship Voyager defined,
it makes sense to have Discovery.
Yeah.
They just
so I think
they just didn't take into consideration that technically the Discovery had been erased from history at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the Shenzhou because the nacelles are angled too much.
Plus, you've also got the bow of the ship isn't exactly.
Yeah. So I guess it has to be Discovery. We'll have to ask the Hagemans about that next.
Yeah. Ask how they got from there to here.
Going for here. It's a bad song. It was a bad song. Fuck it. I hate that song. I hate the series.
I liked Enterprise.
I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's definitely not one of my favorite series, though.
See, this is when you have channel points of Mark going on Star Trek rants because I have like tons planned out that I could do.
Oh, I didn't set up for the channel point stuff. I mean, you can still use your channel points to have your message highlighted or unlock a random emote. Even though I think all of ours are currently unlocked. You can send a message in the subscriber only chat if you use points, which we don't have a subscriber only chat set up. And the other two are just emotes right now. But we will set up channel point redemption stuff. We'll maybe put a poll up on the Twitter or over on the community tab on YouTube and ask what you guys want to be able to turn your channel points for, and we'll figure that out.
I know what I would do. I would turn them in for one of our streams being live from Mark's shed.
Take the entire. That'd be a lot of channel points.
A lot of channel points.
It'd only last about a couple of minutes because of the power of the laptop, but
I don't
there's
know
no
about
power
the
in that
Wi-Fi.
shed.
Mark, you redeemed
Just
your
about
own
do it.
message.
I know. Neelix was the downfall of the Federation. If he got to Starfleet, he would have ruined it, and that's exactly true.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing. I don't know. What should I play? Let's go. We were talking about Voyager. And we've got Janeway, so I'm gonna play the Voyager.
You got to
song.
play from here to there to here.
I'll put that on next.
I can't hear any of it. I don't have it all signed up yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to work on that.
I've got Amazon Prime, so I'll just go through there and get all twitched up and everything.
Yeah. All right, so I've got that set up. So right now you're gonna hear some Star Trek music in the background if you have the Amazon Prime Music extension going.
Do we get money every time we say Amazon Prime Music extension?
Yes, no, but we do if people sign up for Amazon Prime Music through us, then we will get a kickback for it. So, you know. All right, so
I do like Amazon Prime Music. I do enjoy it. So
what else in this episode that popped out to you guys that you wanna discuss?
The Diviner looks like a tall golem.
He's interesting. Like I'm not sure. Like we still don't know anything about his race. The Boundakat. They're still kind of new. We don't know why there's only two of them left either. We don't know why him and Gwyn are the last two of his kind. I'm going to assume there's some sort of like a warmongering species or something, and they got wiped out in like a battle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we have found a massive flaw in Federation technology. It's divert all power to the engines. So if you loads of people in the brig, you just literally let them. And like if you had like every single time you see a brig in any of the starships, they always have one guard. Now, if you had like 3 people in each cell, you'd be massively effed because they just get out and kill you. You think that they'd have a separate power for the shield generators in the brig.
So on this ship, we know that, but that's how things are. We know that this is also an experimental ship, kind of like the Discovery. So there might be, maybe that's why the Discovery is on there. Maybe this is a Section 31 ship, so they know about it.
Who knows? But I'm just annoyed that they took power and it took power from the brig. What happens if she got out and was just like, "Oh, I'm going to like mess up the entire ship,
murder everybody."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she kind of did because she diverted power to making an escape pod.
Yeah.
Or making an escape shuttle. I have to imagine that it's just like the creators making it for this show.
Oh God, sorry. The version of the Enterprise theme that's playing is like an elevator music version. This is really bad. This is really bad.
Oh, you've just reminded me of something. I can't remember.
You need to go ride
if you're watching this on YouTube,
a lift.
You're not gonna be able to hear it at all. Even if you're listening to this after we're not live anymore. But this is Faith of the Heart by Rok-Tahk. No, sorry, that's not the one that's playing. The one that's playing is the City of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra featuring James Fitzpatrick. I'm sure the Prague Philharmonic Orchestra is probably pretty good. but this arrangement makes it sound like shitty elevator music. Oh, this is not great.
There is I always forget who this person is, but there's like a person that sings like swing music, but like like metal music or something. But he's like, let's say like, like getting from here to here type thing, and it's just like I can't remember what the name is. It annoys me all the time.
That's right. There's a dude that I listen to, Leo. I can't remember his last name, but he does like heavy metal covers of music.
Mm-hmm.
So like he'll do like the Captain and Tennille type stuff.
Yeah.
But turns out metal. And some of it's really funny, but it's also really good.
Speaking of good covers, if you haven't seen it, the Muppets just dropped their cover of Mr. Blue Sky.
Really,
it was fun.
I'll have to stutter and then look that up. Okay, all right. Where were we in Star Trek land? We were talking about how Dahl currently in his current form is kind of annoying because of how cocky he is and how
is he a
two
Neelix? Two Neelix heads?
No. Yeah, I'll give him a 2 Neelix head because he's the sort of person right now that would irritate me. But he's not Neelix irritating because he's not the guide to the galaxy right now, where Neelix is just get those channel points in because you'll get a Neelix run.
Okay, so Gwyn, do we think she's going to turn after this episode?
Yeah.
Do we think like coming up in the next episode she's gonna be like, oh my god, my dad's a horrible person. I'm with you guys now, or do you think it's going to take a little bit more than that?
A bit longer, maybe another episode, 2 episodes, I think.
I think she'll go along with them, but when she sees her father, she'll be like, "Dad, they're not what you think. You need to. We can help each other." And then he's going to be like, "No, get out of the way, child." Pop.
Do you know what I would love, right? So basically, it's like the last episode is like my ship, and he's like, "Yeah, computer, activate Rook-3282," and the ship just blows up, and he's like, "Well, you're not getting that ship back. I've got the hologram Janeway thing in here, ha ha ha." I just want that to happen, and it just goes series end.
And we still never found out what the Protostar really was.
Yeah,
it's a spaceship.
If you're going to destroy it, if you're going to use it for evil, I'm not going to let you have it. Computer, activate Cisco 342. Boom. That's it.
What do you think of the name of the ship? A lot of the ships are named after something in particular, or a concept like Discovery. This one is named for its actual engine. It's not like Discovery was named the USS Sporester or something.
I don't know. I think it's okay because Protostar does sound shippish. Like it sounds like the name of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Protostar drive doesn't really sound like it, like an engine. Like the warp core sounds like an engine. The slipstream drive sounds like an engine. The Protostar drive, like I don't know. It sounds more like the name of it. It sounds like they named it the drive of the ship after the ship rather than naming the ship after the drive.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I feel it's a very kids show move with the naming of the ship.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine because it is
a kids show.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the part where Rok-Tahk, when the gravity came back, because Rok-Tahk looked so sad when the gravity went on and they couldn't figure out how to take it. It broke my heart. And when Rok-Tahk just fell right on top of Gwyn, that was funny.
Because she was like, all of a sudden she was now happy because she was like, oh, haha, the tides have turned. Like you saw the look on her face when Gwyn went to reach for the sword shield thing and she just put her hand on top of it. It was like,
Yeah. The facial animation for Rok-Tahk still is a little disturbing to me. The mouth in specific. I don't know what about it, but it makes me just my skin crawl a little bit.
Well, Donnie is taking off. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week and this weekend for the Ranger shows. Just as a reminder, Retro Ranger is now on a hiatus. Joe and I are working on an entirely new format for the show that I think you guys are really going to like. But that will be coming back, maybe back to YouTube, depending on how we work this format out. But if not, it will be on Facebook. You can find it by just going to the Illuminerdi on Facebook and watching for us to post. All right. So what else? What else we got in this episode? What do we think about Hog?
I still think he's older. I don't think he's a kid.
He's also supposed to be like 17.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
You said that last episode, and for some odd reason, it didn't stick. He seems like he's 45 to me.
It's because of his personality.
I mean, they do say that you could be something like 19 and have the mind of a 4-year-old, or a 40-year-old trapped in a 19-year-old's body or something.
That's
so. I reckon he's just like really misunderstood. And he's just like, hey, how you doing? Make sure you get me some gruel from the replicators. Yeah, man, I like that. Give me some butter.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of acting like your typical not bright alien dude.
But he's smart. He's an engineer. He like actually knows his stuff. I mean, there was a really it was a quick moment, but when Rok-Tahk went to go find Gwyn, he just turned and he goes, "Oh, you're the muscle. We're not doing much better." Yeah. And it was like, "Oh wow, that's actually a pretty wise thing to say given the circumstances."
I mean, I'm not gonna say I was a genius when I was 17, but
you threw out a pearl every now and again.
Yeah, every once in a while. Or just gave up on life, you know. Just like, fine.
The one thing that got me is he's in the engine room hitting it next to the warp core. Why would you start hitting things like you're in a mining thing next to a warp core? And Janeway didn't beam him and go, stop it.
Which is why I don't think Janeway is a protective protocol. There were quite a few things where Janeway would have not allowed them to go to that star in the first place if she was a protective protocol.
Like, oh, we're gonna die? All right.
Yeah.
Been a nice life.
I've been online for like 2 seconds. It's fine. I fulfilled everything. I saw this thing.
Who we got left? We've talked about Dahl. We've talked about Gwyn. We've talked about Rok-Tahk. Talked about Hog.
The Janeway protocol. There's a comment that she made that I found interesting. She goes, I've seen my share of crews, and y'all aren't half bad, or whatever she said. Is that like pre-programmed Janeway, or has this particular program seen a few crews?
Well, so that's one of the things that we don't know. Because that, like, as the Hageman said, we will find out eventually.
Yeah.
What the deal is, but I would imagine that there had to be a crew on the ship at one point.
Yeah. Like you said, the bones are in the bed.
Yeah. It's like was it Futurama, where the professor was just like, oh, I've got these job implant chips for my last crew. What happened to them?
Or the whole plot of X-Men First Class.
Yeah, exactly. I'm interested to find out what exactly the deal with the Janeway hologram is, like what her direct purpose is. Like, it says that she's a teaching hologram, training hologram, but we'll see if she becomes more than that, because like the Doctor became more than just the Doctor.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see where that goes.
I really want him to be like, they go to sick bay. I really want him to be in it. Like, I think that if they just brought him in, he's just like, I'm not. Where are we? Type thing. I would love Robert Picardo to come back.
Emergency.
Yeah, I really want Robert Picardo to come back.
Yeah,
that'd be great. I don't know that he would.
70,000 light years from home, and he's just gonna be like, power me down, turn me off,
yeah,
end program.
He just comes on and goes, yeah, one of my predecessors did this, so I know what it's like. Oh, they got Julian to come in. Like, I think that would be
Julian
quite
Bashir
cool.
would be cool.
Or no, Andy Dick.
Oh, is that the one?
God.
The Mark II.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Bashir would make sense though, being that he was like a what was he, eugenic?
Yeah.
Thing, whatever that was.
Yeah, he was genetically enhanced.
Well, in Deep Space Nine, they actually got him to do the Mark II, for space stations and stuff. So, because they did that entire episode where they found out that he was like enhanced and stuff like that, and it was just like, oh, it's a really good episode.
Yeah. One of my professors from USC was one of the other enhanced people.
Nice.
And Hillary
Duff.
Yes, Hillary Duff.
Hillary Clinton
was one of the other enhanced people, and she was also Divatox on Power Rangers.
Yeah. It wasn't
Hillary
Duff, because Hillary Duff was Divatox. I'd be so happy
Hillary Duff was
Hillary
Divatox.
Duff was on Power Rangers.
Okay, so what characters are left? Did we get through everyone? Murf?
No, well, we didn't do the little slug.
Murf.
He's all right. Slimed everywhere, vomited. He gets no Neelix's heads.
I wasn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
I wasn't too sure what to take of him, because the last episode he did a couple things that you're like, oh, he's just doing slime stuff. Oh, he's actually helping. And this episode, he was like a puppy or a child.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna eat a chair in one episode, and then he's gonna fire the torpedoes in the next. I don't know. The Diviner. So at the end of the episode, he comes out. He's like, "We're going after them."
Yeah.
And the ship takes off, and the
colony
gets cloaked.
That was pretty cool. It's a pretty. Oh, and Cat Person is now relegated to being a miner now.
Yeah.
They got kicked out the palace.
So this mining colony, like, why do you think he hit it?
Because he's not there. Maybe to stop other people from landing in or helping.
Yeah. I mean, he's mining stuff that obviously he doesn't want the Federation to get their hands on.
Because I mean, from what we know about this
it's a miracle substance.
Yeah, like it interferes with like with electronics. It doesn't allow pattern locks for transporters. So I mean that's a pretty good thing to have.
Yeah, he probably wants to mine all that and then use it to retrofit the Protostar, because he obviously knows what the Protostar can do.
But
he'll probably end up.
He knows about the Federation,
and he knows about the Federation.
So why does he know about the Federation and no one else does? Like Pog should know about the Federation because he's a Tellarite.
Well, maybe he's just because he's a kid. Maybe he got pulled when he was young.
Maybe. But like the way he ordered food was like he knew what food from his people was.
That's true.
So I'm really curious about how he got out there.
I'm curious about how they get the people in general, because like they had Morn, or Morn.
Something from Morn's species.
They had one of him, and I imagine if we went back and looked as the Protostar was leaving, there were probably other species.
Unless his ship that he took off in is also able to traverse like vast
distances.
Yeah, and he's been traveling. Maybe he's been traveling the galaxy, just collecting these kids.
Do you think? Oh, good Lord, the main kid, the only name I can't remember.
Dahl.
Do you think Dahl could be from a quadrant 4, from another part that we don't yet know exists?
Very possibly. Like, I mean, honestly, that like if the Diviner has been traveling the galaxy, if his ship is able to cross vast distances, and because we know there's the Alpha Quadrant and the Beta Quadrant, which is where the Federation is. There's the Delta Quadrant, which is where they are now.
Yeah.
Where
and then there's the Gamma.
And there's the Gamma Quadrant. That's all 4 in the galaxy. So we haven't seen everything from the Gamma Quadrant yet. Like really, we know the Jem'Hadar, we know the Founders, and then a couple of other random species, and that's really about it. Like we have not seen the vast majority of the Gamma Quadrant yet, even though we had access to it for 7 years.
What if there's?
I'd say the same thing about the Delta Quadrant too. We really don't know that much about the Delta Quadrant.
What if there's a 5th part though, and it's not a quadrant anymore?
Well, I mean, there could be other areas that we don't know about, but the quadrants are the entire galaxy. It's how it's been dissected, whatever, just to give names to that space. But I mean, it's possible that he's from another galaxy.
Yeah. Which one are the Borg from? Borg are from Delta originally.
The Borg originated in the Delta.
Yeah, in Delta.
Yeah.
That was from Enterprise, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we found that in Voyager.
Oh, that's right, Voyager. Yep.
But we know that the galactic barriers are up there, but prevent things from getting through.
What's that, Mark?
Okay, all right. Hear me out. Wormhole aliens.
Do go on.
Maybe
I'm intrigued.
Prophet. So maybe they were like, right, we've got to send out people, and maybe he got kicked out. Maybe his race got kicked out of the Celestial Temple, and thus therefore they just wind up around the universe, and they got Dahl, Neelix number 2, in training, and thus therefore he's a actual from the wormhole. Who knows? Or he's a changeling.
There were. Do we know what the prophets were actually called? Because we know that there were the Pa Wraiths that were the evil prophets.
Yeah.
But the Vau-N'Akat, that kind of sounds like oddly wormhole alienish.
All right, let's have a look at Google.
There's also the fluidic space aliens, species 8472.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mark froze again.
He's frozen in thought.
Yep. Goddamn internet connection. It doesn't actually. It says, it just says bad network. Well done there. I don't know. I think maybe it's just out there. It could be from the wormhole.
Yeah. I mean we really can't rule anything out at this point.
No, that's possible. Well, what do you guys want to see for next week?
I want to see Dahl stop being a little shit.
Yep.
But really though, I want to see Gwyn start to embrace the fact that her dad is a piece of shit. And kind of start looking at the crew in as victims rather than as fugitives. and start to understand them and maybe try and work with them a little bit better. A cameo. I think next week we're due for a cameo.
You think? You think already? How many episodes is it? 10.
10. Yeah,
10.
so this is
okay.
So episode 4 is almost halfway through.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Whether that's going to be Chakotay or Akona or one of the other random characters that we don't know about yet. I don't know.
Q.
Yeah, I mean Q could always be a thing. I don't think we'll see him in Prodigy though.
Nah.
Doesn't seem like that kind of a show. At least not yet. What about you?
Me or Mark?
I would like.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
I want to see Dahl grow the fuck up. Like I just want him to. I want them to. I don't care if it's off camera, but I want them to sit down and go, okay, we've got to take this seriously. And then I want I can't remember her name now.
Like Rok-Tahk. To see her sit Dahl down and go, listen here, you little shit. You're gonna stop being a little asshole and just be a normal person.
Yeah, we're in space. It's not a fly by the seat of your pants. This is a whole thing.
Zero, give him a lobotomy.
Yeah, I reckon. I think probably at the end of the series, I reckon something will happen to Zero. Dad gets control of Zero and then controls the others to go do stuff. But because she lets them out of the containment suit, she goes full power, and everyone just goes under the control. Apart from Janeway, because Janeway's a hologram. You can't do that. But no, I want Chakotay to come in much later. I don't want him to be in the next episode, because I feel like that could be a season finale where it's like a cliffhanger where he boards the Protostar, deactivates, and then the real Janeway comes on as well.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I agree with wanting to hold on to Chakotay. Since it's episode 4, I could see that being definitely a cameo. Probably from our other cameo that we already know is appearing in this season. But for me, I just want a little bit of backstory now. On some of the characters. It doesn't have to be on Dahl, because I know who is he? Where is he from?
One of the mysteries. He's a mystery. Zero's one of the mysteries. How the Protostar got to the Delta Quadrant is a mystery.
But I'd like some of those to start being answered.
Yeah.
Or barring any of that, how all of them got to be captured and put in the mining colony. Just some sort of history to the characters, if not to the greater mysteries of the series. But I figure those bigger ones will be answered like episode 7, 8, 9.
You
know.
Yeah. Does
this one have a mid-season break, or does it go straight through as well?
I think it goes straight through. We've got two more episodes until we get to Discovery.
4 and 5,
I think.
I
think Discovery. I think it was at the 18th.
Yes.
When Discovery starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be a mid-season break, just because we do overlap and go right into Discovery.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps us up for this week. We'll do a little more digging around, see if we can come up with anything else that we may have missed from this week, and we can cover that in our pre-show next week ahead of episode 4, which is still untitled. But again, make sure you're following us on social media. You can find me at Vogue on Poetry Slam. It should be somewhere down there. For the rest of the Illuminerdi, you can find us on Twitter at @the_Illuminerdi. That's probably the best place to find out about what we're doing. Anything that comes up, any last minute streams that we're doing, will all get posted there. But you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and get updates from us there as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. If you miss a week here of our watch along, the post-show portion of this will be posted the next day later on Thursdays, depending on whether you count the next day as midnight or after you wake up. And so that should be up probably by midday Thursdays. So if you're watching this there on YouTube, again, make sure you find us over on Twitch so you get notified about these live streams. Mark, where can we find you, and what do you have coming up this week?
So you can find me on YouTube and Instagram as Heirloom, on Twitter as Mainstream Live. I have some audiobooks coming up. I also have some probably some other videos coming up. I have no idea. Probably some Hasbro stuff on how they need to treat and a little bit better. And then I think that's it. Probably audiobooks. That's listen to my sultry voice as I read to you on magical things. Who knows what it could be? You'll have to find out.
Jamie, what about you? I know like most of your online stuff happens here with us.
That's about it.
We have been discussing, I don't know if anyone watching this was with us back in the right in the middle of 2020. We had started playing the Rick and Morty D&D campaign. It was myself, Daniel, Shay was DMing it for us, Tatiana, and Elle all joined in. We are going to restart the campaign. And Jamie is going to be joining us. Shay is going to DM again. Daniel, I think, will be with us, and we're trying to flesh out the rest of our player characters. Hopefully, we'll be starting that up in the next week or so. So that's one more place that you'll be able to see Jamie.
Oh, yay! I'll see myself.
All right? Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. But outside of that, again, just check in this weekend with us on YouTube for the Ranger wrap-up. We may do a smoke along again this weekend. I know it's been a few weeks since we've done that. We'll just have to see how the timing works out for us.
Didn't you do one for Halloween?
We were going to, but things just kind of got like,
spooky.
Yes, spooky. Sunday, Illuminerdi Wrestling Order. They were down this past week due to Halloween, but I believe we will be back this week with new wrestling stuff that happens. I don't know how wrestling works. Yeah, people get hit with chairs and tables and stuff. E Honda comes out and does the multi-hand slap thing, and what's it, Sagat with the tiger uppercut.
Oh no, that'd be MMA.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, any last words before we GTFO?
Goddamn Neelix.
All right then. I guess LLAP, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.